He is 10 under after a 7 under par, and for him, his lowest round in any major of his career. Chasing Scottie will be Matt Fitzpatrick right behind him at 1 shot back. Fitzpatrick with a 5 under. You see some low scores here on this leaderboard. It'll be interesting to see who makes the cut and how moving day turns out at Royal Portrush. All right, let's bring in our guy, Patrick McDonald. Boy, Scottie Scheffler, 16, 17, almost 18 in terms of birdies here, but what stood out to you about his best major round of his career?
Got to be the putter, Tommy. I mean, it has looked unbelievable so far through 36 holes. And that finish, of course. I mean, this guy just never seems to finish on a sour note. 2 birdies in his final 3 holes yesterday. Another 2 birdies in his final 3 holes yesterday. To play 16 in particular in 4 strokes across 2 days was absolutely insane to me with how difficult that hole is playing. But you look at what Scheffler has done on the green so far this week. He has gained over 5 strokes to the field. And Scheffler, coming into the week, had never gained strokes in the Open Championship with the putter, and even in the Scottish Open with his putter. And we saw him so befuddled last week at the Scottish Open, like complaining about reeds. And I thought coming into the week, the difference in the green surfaces and the difference in the undulations of Royal Portrush a bit more severe compared to typical links golf tests like a flat St. Andrews or a flat Liverpool, a bit more slope in these greens, that it would actually help Scottie Scheffler. I didn't know it would help him this much, but combined with his tee to green game, leading this field in terms of strokes gain approach and rolling the rock with confidence, that's why we have a Scottie Scheffler that looks unstoppable through 36 holes.
Yeah, I remember some of those like visuals with Ted Scott last week at the Genesis Scottish Open. And again, he doesn't usually play ramp-ups to major championships, but he doesn't get out there that often, something he obviously admitted there, Patrick. What is it about Scottie? He's so good stateside. Then there's some questions whether it comes to links golf as he continues to almost kind of learn on the fly, even though he's got, a handful of years of reps.
I think there's 2 things in particular. One, the speed. These greens are slower than the PGA Tour, than stateside, right? You go to Muirfield Village, they're rolling 14 on the stimp. You go to Augusta National, 14. Oakmont, they were 15. And obviously the slope. You look, when Scheffler misses putts, he tends to overread them. He tends to add too much break into the reads. He's looking for something in straight putts, and that's why you get the befuddled look out of Scottie Scheffler. Like, how does that not break more? And so far this week, he's seeing all the slope. He's seeing all the break to perfection. In the added slope, you think about where Scheffler has putted well throughout his career. It's greens that have a lot of pitch, like a Muirfield Village, like an Augusta National, like a TPC Sawgrass as well. So I think that's really helped Scheffler this week.
4th 36-hole co-lead for him. He's 2 for 3 in those conversions, 2 Masters victories and a T2 at the PGA in 23. All right, let's get to Matt Fitzpatrick, who's putting himself together a nice tournament, and he's kind of ramped it up with the last 3 PGA Tour tournaments that he's played, so he'd been trending in the right direction here. What did you make of his round?
Really impressive. It felt like that 5 under 66 was almost the highest he could have shot with how well he played from tee to green. He had a 3-putt on number 2. The par 5, made bogey on the short par 4 5th, had a bad wedge into 14 that led to another bogey, and then also missed a 3-footer on 17 for birdie. And you take that all together, and he still shot 5 under. Making 8 birdies around Royal Portrush is no small feat. And I just think it's all about confidence for Fitzpatrick. He talked about after his round yesterday how it was a real career low point for him following the Players' Championship. He started to work with Mark Blackburn, who's kind of known for working with Max Homa at the peak of his powers, a new swing coach. Slowly but surely, week by week, he's adding building blocks to his game. A good start there in Detroit, a contention run last week at the Scottish Open, and then obviously off and running this week as well. And so he said after his round today, actually, that all the pressure this weekend isn't going to be on him. It's not going to be on the Englishman trying to break that 33-year drought. It's going to be on Scottie Scheffler. It's going to be the world number 1. So he's putting the pressure on Scheffler right now, and I kind of like that too.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick also doing something he's never done, which is the most birdies he's ever had in a major round. I think 148 for him. So again, the former U.S. Open champ, maybe inching towards another major championship for him. We know Rory McIlroy completed the career Grand Slam. What did you make of Rory's day today in Northern Ireland?
It's kind of 1 step forward, 1 step back, not quite 2 steps back, right? It was on and off, kind of would get a little bit of momentum and then give it back to the field. And the start was kind of emblematic of that, I thought. He rolled in a really nice birdie on number 1, kind of a tough tuck pin, was able to access it from the left side of the fairway, made a nice 20-footer, and you go, okay, here we go. Rory's going to get on a little bit of a run here. And then he blows his drive way right on number 2. He's still struggling with the left to right winds with the driver in hand. I think the good news for Rory is you only need 4 or 5 drivers around this place, but for him to kind of get back into the real mix, right, get inch closer to Scottie Scheffler, he's going to have to play the par 5s better. And this kind of goes back to the final round there at the Scottish Open when he was with Chris Gotterup. He played those par 5s and 1 over that Sunday at the Renaissance Club. He played them in 1 under yesterday, played them in 1 under today as well. Probably needs to play them in 4, potentially 5 under over the weekend, but the drivers kind of hindered him on those scoring chances, unfortunately, and he's played the rest of the golf course, the more difficult stretch of the golf course, quite well.
Let's get to Bryson DeChambeau, which really set the tone today, and maybe it was good for him being late early because, boy, he did not have a great Thursday. Patrick, including that baseball swing whiff there, but take a look at his card here, working his way back. I mean, look, contention might not be in play, but obviously making the cut was something he'd be very happy with how Thursday went.
Yeah, he said after the round, nothing was different between the 2 rounds. I guess outside of 13 strokes, nothing was different for Bryson. He just said he got a couple good bounces where yesterday he got a couple bad bounces, but his iron play really carried the load. I would say he was 5.5 strokes better compared to his performance in round 1 when it comes to that approach number. Hit a ton of greens in regulation. I believed he missed only 2 on the day, obviously led to that bogey on number 11, and gave himself plenty of chances and putted it quite well. He has not putted well in this part of the world throughout his career. Seemed to get the green speed right today. It was the same wind direction as yesterday, so he kind of had that experience under his belt too. And you got to give this guy credit. I think a lot of players would kind of mail it in, be like, okay, I'm not going to make the cut in the Open. It would have been back-to-back missed cuts in the Open for Bryson, back-to-back missed cuts in major championships for the first time since 2017 if he had missed the weekend. But he put his head down and he went to work and he put together a great round that he should be proud of and could potentially snowball into more success on links golf in the future.
Bryson could have been the clubhouse leader for most surprise cut. Of course, he doesn't. He makes it to the weekend. But what was that golfer for you this week?
I think it has to be Colin Morawa. There are certain guys, Tommy, who just know how to play major championship golf even without their best stuff. And Morawa is certainly in that category. Think about 2024. He was in that final group with Scottie at the Masters without his best stuff, and again at the PGA Championship without his best stuff. It's been a weird few months for him. The caddy carousel, of course, going from J.J. Jakovich to Joe Greiner to his buddy. The Billy Foster experiment did not turn out well. Back-to-back missed cuts here in the UK, and then now he's going to be having a new caddy on the bag for the FedEx Cup playoffs and the Ryder Cup too if he makes the team. And so I just figured Morikawa's accuracy off the tee and iron play would be a high enough floor, would buoy him to the weekend, and it just was not the case. Scottie Scheffler, who he played alongside, beat him by 17 strokes across 36 holes, which is insane to say, knowing this guy is a top 5 player in the world. So Morikawa, I'm a bit surprised that he played as poorly as he did.
Yeah, 2-time major champ, including an Open Championship not too long ago for Colin. Not going to be able to make it to the weekend as he continues to seek for something heading into the FedEx Cup playoffs. In terms of the chasers, we didn't talk about the Waggle King or the great Ha Tong Lee here. What do we think about the chasers? I mean, just a golfer to keep your eye on this weekend.
Well, you got to keep an eye on Hao Tong Lee. This guy is crazy. The stories, if you have time to look them up, I highly recommend them. But for me on this list, it's Tyrrell Hatton. It feels like he didn't really get too much out of his game across the first 36 holes. He was terrific from tee to green, just didn't make enough putts, in my opinion, to shoot 7, 8 under, kind of be in that immediate chasing pack right behind Scheffler. But this guy, he said, following the U.S. Open, that contention run there where he finished bogey on Sunday, he's been talking about how much fun he's having on the golf course, Tommy. And when you watch Tyrrell Hatton, it does not look like he's having fun at all. He's throwing the bird at greens. He's shotgunning the putting surfaces. And so Hatton having fun, playing well. I think he's the guy to watch tomorrow.
When it's good, he's good. And as the frustrations build, we've certainly seen that as well. Patrick, certainly appreciate it, man. Thanks for the update. And again, anticipating a fun weekend there at Royal Portrush. All right, the early wedge, which Patrick is a big part of. Scan the QR code as they will get you ready before and during, of course, with the time change of what's happening there at the Open Championship.